True.
Got some more news and notes. We got a return to a captaincy for one Oklahoma Sooner. And is there a player that could end up with some postseason honors? We'll discuss coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
The Oklahoma Sooners released their captains earlier this week for the Missouri game. And it's all the guys that you would expect to be a quote-unquote season-long captain. Your Danny Stutsmans, your Grayson Haltons, guys, Billy Bowman, Dominic Williams, Bauer Sharp, a dude that everybody has pointed to as a leader for the team. But Jackson Arnold is back as a captain for the Oklahoma Sooners this week.
Yeah, you got Jackson Arnold back on that list. Pretty exciting. I'm actually happy to see it. It's coming back full circle for the young man. You know, he went through the adversity that he feels like he probably needed to go through to really better himself, and now he's showing up and showing out. And so you get to get him as a captain, and then, you know, Bauer Sharp's back out there, Dominic and Williams, as well as Grayson Halton. So you do defensive linemen that you've seen really have some solid improvements, especially G-Baby. Grayson Halton has really shown up this season, and I've been just thoroughly impressed. And then, of course, your two old heads who get to play, you know, against Missouri, which they never got to play against Missouri, but they get to be the ones to represent against an old foe on the road. So I'm excited to see that, you know, this is the group of guys. I know a lot of people aren't really big on the week-by-week captains, but to me, I understand it. It gets guys, it keeps everybody engaged. So, you know, you get the opportunity to be a captain for one of the games. I mean, you had your season-long captains, but being the captain for one of the games, getting to go out there for the coin toss, it keeps guys engaged with the opportunity to be able to do that. Because, it's ceremonial, but it's cool. It's cool to be able to walk out there with everyone and be there for the coin toss. So I like seeing that, and I like that we went with more defensive players and offensive players this time. I don't know why, but I kind of do.
Well, it's the unit that leads the way for the Oklahoma Sooners.
Yes.
So, I mean, as improved as the offense has been the last couple of weeks, we know what the identity of this team is. It's a defensive football team, and the guys that are leading the way as captains are the guys that have been leading the way all year. Dominic Williams may not be putting up flashy stats, but the dude has been really, really good all year. Grayson Halton is the defense's Javante Barnes. He's the dude that's playing with more effort and more energy than anybody out there on the field, and is always in the right spot, always making plays, always getting into the backfield. And then obviously Danny Stutsman, Billy Bowman. Stutsman's having another phenomenal year. He is a semifinalist for the Butkus Award. I think it's going to be a little bit tricky to probably win the award, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's a finalist by the end of the season. Again, he's been one of Oklahoma's best defensive players, if not the best defensive player this season. And he's got 3 more games to go and put a stamp on his Oklahoma career.
Yeah, this is his opportunity to wrap things up in the right way. You got this road game, you've got the home game, and your finale against LSU down there in Death Valley, which that one's going to be a fun one as well. But for them, it's really going to be about just showing up, showing out, doing what you need to do to close it. This is a very winnable game. We talked about the injury report at the beginning of the show. There's a lot of names on there that, for us, we're used to being on there. So, I mean, at this point, we're just like, okay, same dudes has been on there. Oh, what
right.
do we do? We've been playing without him, and we won some games without him. We'll have to figure it out. Somebody's going to step up. But for Missouri, this is newer for them, right? Losing your quarterback and your starting running back and your third wide receiver. It's going to be a lot of questions they're going to have to answer going to this game, and then having 2 offensive linemen, including Caden Green, on that list. I really hope that Caden Green doesn't move up into like questionable and doubtful before this game, in which honestly kind of have a feeling there's a possibility that will happen, that he won't be able to play against us. It just feels like it. I just have a funny feeling, John. I have a funny feeling that they're not going to let him play.
Who is a player on Oklahoma's team that you think could be in line for some kind of postseason award? Who do you think is the most likely to earn a postseason award?
Honestly, I think Stutsman is. He's up there, one of the tops in tackles, and we know he's everywhere, one of the higher graded guys. And he's very much, you know, right now I think I've seen him mocked as a first round pick on multiple mock drafts for this coming season. So as a late first rounder in the 20 range, it's pretty darn good, especially for a linebacker, because not a lot of linebackers end up that way, especially with the way the pass games go in the NFL. A lot of teams are trying to find ways to run the ball more effective. And so teams are now looking for those linebackers like a Danny Stutsman to come in and be able to stuff that run. So I think he may end up being a finalist for the Butkus Award. He should be. He should have been a Butkus last year. Should have been a Butkus finalist last year, but they disrespected him in some capacity for no apparent reason. But I digress. This is the year we could probably get ourselves a Butkus Award finalist at least. I don't know winner, but finalist, because he only has one sack this season so far.
Yeah,
you're gonna get that man a few more sacks.
Yeah, and I think I don't even know if he's got an interception this year, which is wild.
He doesn't, which is a shocker.
Yeah, but teams aren't having to throw much, and they're not having to throw over the middle. And the strength of Oklahoma's defense is up the middle, and so teams are pushing the ball to the perimeters more and taking advantage of some of the inexperience or the inconsistencies at cornerback. I think this is going to be one of those situations where you might see like a Robert Spears Jennings get some first team all SEC love. He's been, according to Pro Football Focus, he's Oklahoma's best defensive player this year.
Yeah, he is.
He's had several games where he was the highest graded player in the nation at his position. So it wouldn't surprise me at all to see him get some All-America love, to see him get some all SEC love. And I'm here for it. I think he's had a great year. He started off hot, kind of cooled off a little bit for a couple of games, but then he's been really good the last few weeks again. So is there a freshman, do you think, that could push for some postseason love?
Yeah, if Jaden Jackson continue to do what he's doing and being a force and being highly graded, there's a chance he could end up on that freshman list. David Stone, I was thinking at one point he possibly could have. I'm not sure if he's already played past the number to get himself off of a possibility for a red shirt, but he was the high graded defensive lineman for freshmen, defensive tackles for freshmen last week, and there's a chance that that's going to continue to go up. So look, man, David Stone and Jaden Jackson out here getting a lot of recognition. Y'all better be ready. Y'all better be ready, especially next season. It ain't gonna get easier. It's gonna get a lot harder because the defense is young enough that it's gonna be a problem next season.
Yeah, so David Stone's played 9 games.
Boo.
Though he's only played 71 snaps, he is Oklahoma's 5th highest graded player according to Pro Football Focus.
Nice.
Again, you need more snaps to really get a better sample size, but because that's like 8 snaps a game that he's playing, roughly. But a promising start to his career, to Jaden Jackson's. I think Jaden Jackson's a freshman All-American. He's been a day one starter for the Sooners at defensive tackle. He's been one of the highest graded players all season long at the position, and he's just been rock steady, nonstop. He continues to start because he's constantly doing his job and doing it at a very, very high level. And that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for tuning in, being a part of the show. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Follow Jay on Twitter at Unfair Sports. Also go check out his channel, Unfair Sports, on YouTube as well. Follow me at John 9 Williams. You can also read my work covering the Sooners over at SoonersWire.com. The show is at Locked On Sooners on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you do your social media-ing. That's where we're at. But until next time, he's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. Boomer.
Sooner.